This is Justin AMZN on Wednesday, January 13th, 2021. Take a look at the 5-minute. So since I did the video yesterday, my computer decided to reboot itself and I lost all my lines that I had drawn in the last day or two. So I had to go back and redraw this. So this is pretty much how I opened up the charts. I missed the open, was booked up this morning. And so I was redrawing this downtrend channel and had an extra price point as this next candle here was forming. So this is the very beginning of Wednesday. We'll get into it. But as I was drawing these lines, I realized, oh, wow, this, zoomed out like this is kind of nice. This looks like a really nice inverted head and shoulders. And that's really bullish. And so I thought, oh, there's a chance maybe we'll come back down to this neckline. And yeah, you know how bad I am at drawing lines. That's good. Yep. I got to set this up differently. That's better, a little better. All right, so I was looking for or hoping that this would happen, that it would reject here and come back down, and then we, really get a nice S curve here. Yeah, that didn't happen. It just kept moving on up. Spoiler alert, I guess, but you can see the chart yourself. So ran up here. Let me switch over to the daily because we just kept on moving. So bullish retest gap, retesting this gap down, and just continue on bullish here from yesterday. Really nice indecision, and so it's looking bullish. We've got a Morningstar reversal here, and I don't have it on this chart, but the 100 simple moving average is just above us at 31.95, 31.95.58. I'm looking at another chart. So to continue bullish, we got to get above 3,200, obviously. But yeah, let's see if we can keep on moving up and see if we can get something to trigger above that into tomorrow. That's what I'll be looking for. So for today, and I had to redraw a couple of these lines. I extended this one out, and I was actually extending it out over here. It lined up really well with this, and then the next highs here too. And I was trying to figure out how high could this go, because since I missed the open, I missed all of this bullishness, and I thought, all right, where could this roll back down? But there were some opportunities I could have gotten into bullish. I'll show you what I noticed. So here we are in the 3,200 call. This is the one that I was in yesterday, and this is one that would have been nice. Just kind of ignore that I got out and had just stayed in, but that wasn't the rule. My rules were, it's a day trade, get out for the day trade, and move the stop and move the target, where it needs to be. And yeah, it stopped me out or trailed me out. Would have been great to get back into that. I love the 10x9 setup. So getting in at 10, stop at 9, and just let that run. That would have went straight up to my 8R target. Didn't do that, or 3R target, depending on the day. 3R target, 8R target. Would have been great to have an 8R day with just this. And the 8Rs would have been getting right back up to this high at 18. So getting in at 10, getting out at 18. Yeah, that was most of the move. But I drew this line in later in the day, just kind of seeing how this was moving. It actually broke down here and then retested and rolled over. So this was actually a really nice kind of S curve. Put in a nice hammer, but it was just stronger to roll over. But this was too expensive. It was really hard to look for a $100 risk unless you were kind of buying blindly, like 12x11 or 13x12, which that wouldn't have gotten below a low. There are times that works, but it was just too much for me to be setting it up like that. So I jumped over to the 3,200 call and was kind of tracking this. So zooming in here a bit more, and we moved a lot closer to the 3,200 call. So it makes sense to, bump it out a little bit and look at the strike. So this would have been a great setup, getting in pretty much at open or soon after open. You really could have just about done 6x5. It would have been right down here at the lows. And then later in the day, I drew this line in just to try and grab the lows. So if you had gotten this set up, like getting in 650, the only problem was I couldn't get 3Rs from this. So 650 up to 950 would have been the 3R target. 650 by 550, target at 950. It didn't get there. And so once we started putting in some lower highs, I drew this line in. The high here was coming in from some previous support here that turned into resistance the other day. resistance had opened yesterday, and then we got back up there. This obviously does not look like any sort of inverted head and shoulder. I mean, I guess kind of a really strange one. If you slope it down like this, then maybe. Like this is a really massive head. Here's a shoulder. Here's kind of another or a double shoulder. It's hard to see it. Clearly, we didn't break above like this being a neckline. So anyway, but I was keeping an eye on this and I saw, okay, this is a really nice trend line here. Let me see if there's a similar one to that on the 5 minute. And so I was looking at the 5 minute here, seeing, okay, here's, kind of an uptrend. No, wait, not that one. No, I don't have it drawn in anymore. But it would have been up like this at this angle. And let me draw that in now. So it was like, what was it? I think like this, something like that. And so this candle started to break down, and at the same time, let me switch back over. At the same time, this was breaking down. It's like, okay, there's some confluence there. I like that. And looking at the puts, the 30-50 put was just too far away. This was just breaking down. It wasn't really having a good level. It wasn't kind of leveling out. So I switched over to the 3100 put, and I drew in this line. So I connected a couple highs through here and saw around that same time, it's like, okay, this is starting to move up, or it actually wasn't moving up. It was just moving further sideways. And yeah, I still got in bearish. So I bought a put, and it quickly moved against me, which is nice to be wrong quickly. And that's what happened. Came down to this $6 price, or 650 price. That's why I was noticing that line. It's like, oh, it comes down right here, and then it bounced. And as it bounced, it really rallied hard right up into this level. It's like, why is it stopping there? Or why isn't it getting back up a little higher? And that's when I think I extended this resistance. So connecting these, and I don't remember how exactly I had this drawn in the other day. I don't remember if I had the highs, but when I redrew it today, I connected the open to the high here, or at least to the close here, something like that. And that lined up really well here. And then later in the day, so I was stopped out. I lost an R. Actually, I had a little slippage. So I was down 1.1 R, and feeling dumb because I didn't play it bullish, and here I am trying to call the top and wrong, and should have just bought at the low down here, which I had seen a low at 650. Could have gotten in and then just not gotten out at 950 when it didn't get there. But I probably would have been, when it started moving up like this, and after 35 minutes, would have been moving my stop. So let's see, if I'd gotten in here, 1020, 1050. So 35 minutes later, I could have moved my stop after this candle. I probably would have only moved it up a little bit, maybe to 6, from 550 to 6. And then I'm not sure that I would have moved it up to break even before that happened. So I may have still been in, but obviously did not get back up to 950. So it would have either been another smaller losing trade, not another, I guess, because unless I was quick enough to get in bullish here. Yeah, I think that probably would have been a break even if I'd moved the stop up, or get out from maybe an R, 750 or 8, somewhere in there, when it's just going sideways later and later. Especially getting out as this, when I notice this downtrend and see it getting into that, I would have been out of that bullish trade over here at the very latest if I had still been in. Because this was strong here, and then you had confluence with this high lining up with this high. So let me switch back to everything on one page, because I think it's easier to talk through it. Now kind of the references, where things are lining up. And so, okay, so here is today on the 3250 call. Here's today on the stock 5 minute, and then this was just going sideways. I didn't see this recovering, so I moved in closer on the put, and I was looking at the 3150. And as it was putting in a little bit more of a top here, again, I had called the top here. I was wrong. I saw this one come in and saw, okay, there's a chance it could line up over here. You have some confluence with these lining up. And it started to, yeah, it started putting a top. But actually, when it put in the top here, I called the top again. And so I was really hoping I would be right this time. And I had to hold through all of this going sideways. I got in 12 by 11. So I got in right around here, around 1250. I don't remember the exact time. I didn't jot it down before the video. So anyway, I was in 12 by 11 and set my target at 15. That was, back up into this area. I thought there's a chance it could run back up here and it'd be close to 15 with this line. Actually, I'm going to zoom in. This has moved down so much. I'm just going to zoom in on this. That's a lot easier to see. Okay. So I was in 12 by 11. And after 35 minutes, I moved my stop up to 11:30. And I somehow did not get stopped out when this happened. So on the 5 minute, you can see I was getting in over here and it just went sideways. So it was way too early. Should have waited. I saw this happening here and thought I had confluence here and here and started to put in this low, which this whole low wasn't here. So again, I was early. It came back down to this 650 price, bounced again, didn't quite get back up to this downtrend line, started to roll over. I could have waited to get in at $12 all the way until it had broken down below 650, retested, and was in this time frame, which would have been like 120 to 140. It was still at the $12 price. So I was way too early getting in over here. And I couldn't really move my stop that much closer. I just figured it was going to be another, losing trade, 0.7 loss, and didn't get it closer. Kept my target at 15. I did not think it could make it all the way up to 20, which would have been way up here for an 8R. And I didn't think I would get my stop up to 15 to look for that 8R. So I left my target at 15. And later in the day it went and started to roll over more. When I saw this rolling over, finally, I thought, okay, there's a chance I'm going to get out. And then this little recovery happened. It started to bounce here on the call, started to put in this kind of strong hammer here. And the put option pulled way back. I was only up about an R at that point. It's like, nope, there's a little bit of a support, old resistance, new support coming in right here at 13. Maybe it'll bounce back up, and it did. So that came back down over here, took out this low. It really started to move, and I was glad to be out at 15. So that turned into a 3R trade. It took way too long to get there. I could have gotten there in about 30 minutes if I had just been more patient and waited. So sometimes that happens, and you get in at the right time and it starts to move quicker. And sometimes it moves too quick while you're waiting and you miss the trade. That's what happened in the open. So anyway, minus 1.1R to the first trade, plus 3R on the second trade. So I was up 1.9 on the day. And yeah, that was nice. So it's good to battle back on days like that. And, to see it play out. I did call the top wrong once, called the top a second time and was correct. I was just way early. So I guess technically I was too early twice, and only one of the trades worked. So yeah, because I definitely didn't call the reversal with the put at the right time. So anyway, again, zooming out, we did not. Let me do this. Let me zoom out on this. Okay, so we've got a little bit of things reversing here. So what I want to suggest, and there's no way to know if I'll be right on this, but I've seen this happen before, and this is what I'll be looking for. I'm going to look for some sort of retracement. Maybe not tomorrow, but this is, and it's hard to switch the down channel around to be an up channel. Actually, let me see if it'll let me do it. If I switch these numbers, me see if this will let me copy. Sometimes it doesn't let me copy. Hey, it will. Okay. I've done this before. Let me see if this works. If I switch these, there we go. Okay. So I switched the channel and just kind of reversed it. So if I take the same channel and line up kind of similar to these highs, this would be kind of an uptrending channel that mirrors this downtrending channel with a really nice inverted head and shoulders in the middle. So let me get rid of this line I just drew, and let me get rid of this extension. Nope, nope, that's not what I meant to do. Cancel right extension. There we go. Okay. So similar highs here. If we consider this kind of the pivot in the middle, a inverted head and shoulders, if we play out like this, some folks are going to think that we're rolling back over and we're rejecting the 100. We could very well do that and roll down. If we roll back down and really put in something like a retest of this neckline, but just do it way over here, like we did over here and almost over here, like this neckline that's drawn in like this, if I extend to the left, it's really close to this. It is hitting these. If we do something like that over the next couple days, that'd be really cool to see. So it would look, I'm just going to try and freehand something like maybe a little bit like this, and we pull back down into this. That would mirror this one, and we get going again and come back down, and then we start to go more up. That's where we could just continue on higher. Something that looks, it's not going to look exactly like this. And actually I missed this down and then this. And anyway, it's not going to look exactly like that. But I've drawn things like this before, and it just needs a really nice kind of reversal pattern in the middle. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. We'll see. I'll leave this on here. Actually, let me color it different. So it's kind of me speculating on what I consider possible. And we'll just see what happens. All right. But yeah, that's some of the trades. That's some of the things to look for today. And I don't know where, there we go. There's back to today. There's today. So as this moves, if we keep moving up, we're getting into Thursday, Friday. I'm going to tighten up these options. Right now, I'm still not right in the middle. I thought there was a chance if we could get moving back down, the 3150 could go in the money. And again, I would feel dumb to miss that, but I set up my trade with my rules, and it worked this time to give me 3 Rs, and it worked the other time to stop me out. So the rules are working again, which is pretty cool. Anyway, hope this helps. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.